We are going to be looking at number 3, Western Michigan, this entire time, obviously, because we're watching Zaire Barnes. So right here, not C block athletic effort. Okay, so let's watch him. Yeah, so so obviously he's blitzing off the edge, and they used him outside the box a lot, like to the passing strength. So he almost played like a pseudo safety role sometimes for them, but he was in coverage a decent amount, out of the box a decent amount. But he has a little bit of versatility in some of the things that they asked him to do, just outside the box, inside the box, as a blitzer, in man coverage, in zone coverage. So he has some versatility while he's very raw. A player he did have a pretty diverse responsibilities, or had diverse responsibilities, yeah, with Western Michigan. So let's watch him here. Again, Blitz is off the edge. I don't think he ever sees the cut block coming from the running back, which is okay. Listen, again, the name of this play is not necessarily, oh, stuffs the cut block really well and avoids it all. No, it's about athleticism, and we can see the athleticism of him literally getting flipped onto his head here, still getting up and bringing the quarterback down for a hit. So this is just more about athleticism, effort. These are the type of plays where, okay, special teamer, a guy who can take some hits, but still get up as quickly as humanly possible and make the hit on the quarterback. And this is the type of effort we want to see, right? So good athleticism, good effort. Now, do we want to see the running back squaring up and starting to drop like he's in a cut block? Sure, we do, but still. Number 3, right here to your left edge, length, aggression, slight hold, tackle. Okay. Yeah, so he's definitely not afraid to take on blocks. Now there are times in general where I do want to see him come to better balance when he takes on blocks. There's some times where his feet aren't under him, he's kind of fading back. His weight might be on his heels. But then there are examples like this, where clearly he reads it's the run play, and the right guard works his way out to Zaire Barnes. Zaire Barnes does a good job, maintaining a good base as he closes that ground, working off of the insteps as he makes that contact with the linebacker, getting hands on first, getting hands on inside, getting extension, reading the running back, seeing where the running back is going, throwing not like a true one arm pillar, but just freeing his outside arm where the running back is obviously cutting and where Zaire Barnes sees him going to, but also keeping the right arm on the offensive lineman just to keep that length, right? Because he's the one to close that ground and drive him out of the play. So good job keeping his length. Good job with the eyes in the backfield. Good job with the wide base. Good job with the insteps. Good job with the hand placement. Good job with the extension. So it's a good play by Zaire Barnes, who then dives and makes a tackle. Now, in terms of the slight hold, I'm assuming. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. We see his jersey get tugged there a little bit. That's not really gonna get called a lot at in any level, but we did want to note that, okay, he still made that tackle and there was a slight hold, right? So obviously his momentum is getting being taken away from him illegally. Barnes overrun gap. Okay, so we have him right here over the left tackle. Let's see. Okay, and you're going to see this is one of my weaknesses for him, and I remember specifically with him just because I just finished watching him, probably maybe a week ago or so. I think about a week ago, yeah, because I watched Bernard Converse and I watched. I'm almost done with Zach Kuntz right now, but this is something that obviously pursuit angle. Okay, that's good. Good job filling the gap here in pursuit. But when you're filling gaps, what do you need to do? We need to be in control, right? And the running back he has so much depth in terms of like their relationship. He's about 7 yards deep, so we want to see him squaring up anyway, and not really trying to guess where he's going. We want to see him get in that gap, break down, and then react. But we're seeing Zaire Barnes overrun this, not have his feet under him. The cutback is there, and the running back cuts back at the minimum, and other guys make a tackle. And sometimes there's plays that are worse. Sometimes there are bad plays. Sometimes there are good plays. Sometimes there are great plays. But this is a pretty bad one just because of how high he comes into the he fills that hole and how his feet are just not under him, and we could see him get beat pretty bad there. This is not like, oh, he just missed. He missed by quite a bit. Why? Because he did a good job filling the gap, but the thing is, you need to come controlled. So for guys who have that speed and who have that aggression, sometimes it can be hard for them to gear down a little bit, have a better base under them, have better control of their lower half, and just have be more balanced. Get low, get balanced, be ready to react. And there he was not. So Barnes scrape Phil. Okay, right here, number 3, obviously. Pointed that already. And this isn't even the best example necessarily, like his athleticism, but obviously he diagnoses, and to me it looks like it actually, I don't want to say, this is not, I wouldn't put that in ink, but it looks like to me that he was reading the quarterback in the exchange point more than he was reading the offensive lineman at some point. So eyes into the backfield, seemingly reading the exchange point. Obviously the running back is working away from, at least when he takes a handoff, his track is working away from Zaire Barnes. Zaire Barnes just shuffles down the line of scrimmage, is just reading where the running back is going. The running back commits to the outside, so does Zaire Barnes. And you can see some of the athleticism there. Like we see the shuffle, and then once he commits right there, the step where he flips his hips fully, right about here, you see some really great burst right there. So just take note of that while we're watching it in slow motion, and then watch it in full speed. You can see some athleticism. You see his short area explosion. Watch right there, boom. He has really good he's a freak athlete. Now he's not necessarily 250 or anything like that, where you're going to say, he's not Myles Garrett in terms of like a freak athlete or anything like that, but in terms of his explosion, his flexibility, his acceleration, his top end speed, it's pretty impressive. So we have Barnes coverage rep right here. Obviously the big arrow towards him, so he's going to be a man coverage, I think, on this H back right here. Let's watch. So he's fast enough. Now technically might be a little bit different, but in terms of his just overall athleticism, I can't really think of a tight end who I'm like, okay, he can't run with anybody. Now, I'm not saying he can cover. I'm not saying he can cover Travis Kelce one-on-one. I'm just talking about from the athleticism standpoint. There's nobody I'm really nervous about. Like, oh, this tight end, I don't really know. So he definitely has really good overall athleticism, but he's in man coverage on the tight end. The tight end takes an outside release. Zaire Barnes does a good job just shuffling, maintaining his outside leverage. One, maintain the outside leverage, because if he's going to break outside, one, it's going to be congested. Two, you already have a guy breaking into the flat right there. Actually, I'm not so sure this is this. No, I actually don't think this is true, man. I think this is like zone match, but nonetheless, we have the vertical route from the number 2 right there. And again, if you're going to let him go outside, fine. The sideline's there. There's another route right there. I also have a flat defender there. So you're just running yourself into traffic. He's okay. That's fine. He also trusts himself enough that if, okay, he's going to run vertical, I can turn and accelerate and run with him. But he trusts himself to turn and run. And if he were to try to undercut him right here, because he opens up a little bit early, then, he trusts himself to flip and run with him. But it's a good job just leveraging himself to the inside and letting that vertical route take itself vertical. He gets a hand on as he kind of as he works his way towards the offensive player, gets a hand onto the shoulder, squeezes him to the sideline, cuts off a lot of the grass where the quarterback can throw it. And he does a pretty good job of just face guarding, and some guys, who are, more experienced and play the ball in the air, they might wait for those hands and play the hands and do all of that. But for a guy like Barnes, who's not necessarily going to be in coverage all the time, he might not necessarily be comfortable enough to do that. So, okay, listen, it's fine. Cover his eyes. Don't let him see that ball. Now, I'm not saying he necessarily 100% did that with certainty, that he blocked the eyes of the receiver, but he tried to, and he didn't catch the ball, so he did enough there. So it's a good job. It's a good job just staying really patient inside. It's a good job shuffling. It's a good job just taking a good angle right here. Not necessarily aggressive enough to get over to underrun it, and it's not necessarily conservative enough where he didn't get a hand on where he couldn't squeeze him to the sideline. So it's a pretty good rep by Zaire on that one. So moving on to the next rep, Phil hands. Okay, big arrow. You can see him off the edge right here. Yeah, he was using many different positions, which is good. It's good to have some versatility, or at least experience some of that, at the college level. So we have a blitz right here, run blitz, where where he's going to penetrate that C gap, does so with good explosion off the line, good acceleration right there, and then just good hand usage. He's splitting the two tight ends, chops the one arm. What is that doing? Obviously, it's weakening. So if that tight end was to just use that as some offensive linemen refer to as a catch hand, like it's not something that he's necessarily going to be forceful with, but to be a hand that's just laid out there that if he were to penetrate that gap, then that tight end is going to be able to let that hand kind of guide him and get on the body of Zaire Barnes. But if you defeat the elbow, obviously that hand's not going to be as strong. It's not going to both turn the tight end, and obviously slow down Zaire Barnes, right? So he does a good job chopping the elbow right there. And he throws a little bit of like a chicken wing. You see the left hand kind of, I'm not saying it necessarily lifts up in 88, and maybe it does partially. But the point of that is to just get a hand on and extend it, just to give himself some clearance in terms of like his foot traffic, and not necessarily having that body lean on him. So it's a good job penetrating. It's a good hand usage. It's a good foot drive to continue to work through that gap. And then obviously he takes a good angle to the running back and brings him down, or is part of bringing him down. So it's a good job shooting that gap by Zaire there. So Zaire missed tackle, or Barnes missed tackle, sorry. He's right here, number 3. And it only results in a couple of yards here. It only results in a couple of yards for the running back on the screen, but we still want to see a good tackle for him, right? Because you never know what can necessarily happen. After the tackle attempt was made, who's to say that he couldn't stop and juke somebody else out, or whatever it may be. But for Barnes, we just want to see a better angle to cut him off and not tackle him from behind. Why? Because his helmet's not in front. When your helmet's not in front, your spine isn't in front. When your spine's not in front, your obviously your entire body really runs through the spine, and that's results in the tackle being much more arm than body. Because if you're gonna get your head in front, okay, then you have to move my neck, which is connected to my chest, which is connected to everything basically. So you get the head in front to get your body in front. When you're just gonna throw your arms like that, obviously it's a much easier to break, unless you have really good grip, or you kind of roll them. But we don't want to see that, right? We want to see a better, more conservative angle to get in front of him and wrap him up and bring him down. And again, doesn't really result in too much, but a couple of yards, and you don't know what can happen after. So Barnes pass rush left side. Okay, right here. I don't actually, I think this is Warren. Carter Warren. Yeah, obviously we have Abanikanda, Warren, so we have some jet on jet crime here. I think he dips under Warren here. You're gonna see some pretty crazy flexibility here, I think, on this play.